Hello and welcome to another update video about Ethereum. So what we should do before we dive into the lower degree time frame, again, just take a look at the daily chart because this is so helpful not to lose sight of the bigger picture. Okay, so on the ETH chart, on the daily chart, you can see it here. We have a very bullish so-called 1-2-1-2-1-2 structure. And yeah, we could now be in circle wave 3. That should take us to 3,500, 3,550 plus, which is the next structural resistance level. But if we talk about, Fibonacci targets here for circle wave 3, it should actually take us, we talked about that before, it should actually take us to minimally 3,800 pretty much, ideally a little higher. So that's sort of what we are looking for on the daily time frame as a next milestone target, getting ideally sort of into the region, the high 3,000 range, possibly 4,000 range, just in this third wave here. And I mentioned before, we might never get these nice pullbacks any longer. Okay, so you see that in the move to the upside, the pullbacks have become less deep. For example, in the initial pullback that we had 2020? Yeah, 2020. The market retraced basically to the 78.6 retracement. At the time, did not break below our ideal support. Then we've got here this wave 2 that bottomed in October last year. It retraced only to the 50% retracement level. Now we have this wave 2 here that bottomed in January. Well, guess what? I've got now still open. It didn't even reach the 38.2 retracement. And the more we get into these main elements of a third wave and where the sentiment is more bullish and more established, the pullbacks in crypto in a bullish market, sometimes they are extremely shallow. So that's what I meant with highlighting so often. It can be useful to have a core position that you basically use to sit out some fluctuations, but essentially if you want to trade the move up to 8 to 12k, which is sort of a bull market figure basically, it's not really a target, but it's sort of a bull market, you could say bull market figure. I don't want to give a real target because it's too early for that. We need to see how those extensions develop, but it's sort of a guideline, right? And gives us a roadmap, a guide path. But if you want to trade that, a core position is helpful. Was helpful to set up, and then any short-term positions can be used to trade around that. But I don't want to make the impression that we get a nice and healthy deep wave 2 anymore. We might do, and I'm going to look for them, okay? And when they appear, it's best to approach them as opportunities. Looking now at, obviously we've got this next move up started as it seems. And to be honest, this is already quite long. Ideally, it doesn't stretch much higher. Next micro resistance on the daily time frame is the 3,123. Honestly, if it breaks above that, I assume we probably go up to 3,600 plus more directly. Then I wanted to share with you again the ETH BTC chart, okay, which is also highly relevant. That was the wrong one I just selected. The ETH BTC chart, and why is it relevant? Because it shows us if ETH is outperforming Bitcoin or if it's going the other way. So we tracked here this 1-2 setup. Basically, it reversed where it needed to. Then I highlighted we need to see 5 waves above resistance to get further confirmation that Ethereum is starting to outperform Bitcoin. Well, we have a move above resistance, but not yet in 5 waves. It's only so far a 3-wave move, and it's starting to fall apart again. But I have to say, the third wave reached the ideal target, sort of nearly, the 1.38 extension at 5.74, pretty much, ideal target reached for the third. So if this is now a 4, and we shouldn't go much lower, and then we could get one more high, and if we get 5 waves, it's going to be interesting because that would indicate that, ETH is ready to outperform Bitcoin going forward. I will focus on that for you. But that's interesting. So that means after 5 waves, we should get a bit of a pullback, but a higher low, and then it's ready to go. Third of a third wave. That's going to be interesting. But If it breaks into the wave 1 price range, which means below 5.41 again, well, then it's likely breaking down. That would be a signal that it's not going the upside path. Looking at the very short term, really not much to add since yesterday's update. We need more price data to say what this is. Certainly so far a 3-wave pullback. I highlighted to you that we have 5 waves up complete. I will not rule out an extension, however, another extension higher. So it could be that this was wave 4. Yeah, so I will not rule out another extension higher, or I just mentioned it to you, on the daily time frame. Don't necessarily expect the pullbacks. When the market offers them, then yeah, they can be used as opportunities. But here we did say that we wanted to see a sustained break below the orange support region as first evidence that, yeah, we get at least here a deeper wave 2 or some sort of top in place, but it never really saw a sustained break below our support area, so we cannot rule out higher. At the same time, I'm very much aware that the wave count to the upside is technically full. If we see a sustained break below that support area, well, then I would argue that it's reasonable to assume that this wave 2 pullback is unfolding, which could target sort of one of the wave 4s of lower degree. That's one of the Elliott Wave guidelines. So maybe the area around 2,720, or if it's deeper, maybe the area around 2,600. So I keep focusing on that. A break obviously against or above yesterday's high here, which was at around 2,983. Yeah, can probably send us into that next upside target range. But it depends now which level we are breaking out. And I give you sort of targets for both directions. Don't really have a preference myself. I think we might see a little bit more sideways action given that Bitcoin as well is still stuck in a range. But obviously Bitcoin could break out, that would have positive implications for Ether as well. But yeah, that's sort of what I'm watching. Still a bullish market, still watching for further upside. We could have reached the top there of a wave 1. But then again, the pullback might be shallow, so I would say don't get too small with your positions, but that's entirely up to you how you do that. Again, a wave 2 can be deep. I would rather use those wave 2s to add to positions. Okay, that's my update about Ether. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.